Uy, ano ba?
Ang init-init na nga, ang ingay pa ng mga fan nyo. Ang init nga kasi.
Do we really have class today? Ang init sa labas, oh.
I know, right? What the heat? I just want this day to be over already. Look guys, it's on the news.
These five areas facing a heat index of 42 degrees Celsius Friday.
The recorded heat index in the past few days have been fluctuating, even reaching danger temperature levels already. How are you holding up with the heat?
Well, if we take a look over here, this editorial cartoon surely sums up all the heat we are feeling.
What is the message? The editorial cartoon presents a timely and relevant situation in the Philippines. Its message highlights that amidst warnings about the extreme dangers of high heat indexes, some schools still choose to proceed with on-site classes. It conveys how the decision fails to address the gaps in classroom conditions and the heightened health risk for students, as not all schools are well ventilated or air conditioned. Ultimately, it delivers the hope for addressing the issue of great concern for learners.
What is the purpose of the message? Well, it is to inform the people about the current and alarming Philippine situation, as well as how more institutions must pay greater attention to its effects. It is also a call to spark action, accountability, and provoke a reaction. The cartoonist likely wants to demand policy changes and hold school officials accountable for their decisions.
How is the message conveyed by the text and/or image? Does the message have to be conveyed in this manner? The message is conveyed through a combination of texts and images. The images represent symbolisms and exaggerations to highlight the issue. For example, the sun in the editorial cartoon covers half of the art. Both the facial expression of the sun and the word extreme heat was written to convey the exaggeration that mirrors the current situation in the country. The presence of the cacti and how the editorial cartoon was set in a desert-like place highlights the extreme heat levels. The message had to be conveyed in this manner, for this exaggeration could actually be seen as an accurate representation of what it must feel like for those directly affected by such intense conditions.
The editorial cartoon also shows how the students are sweating and perspiring excessively while exaggerating their tongues sticking out, indicative of their exhaustion and discomfort that had seemingly been turned a blind eye on by the higher-ups. Ultimately, it shows that despite extreme heat danger, they still continue to go to school. Editorial cartoons rely heavily on visual storytelling, so the message makes sense if conveyed through this manner.
What is the effect of the message being conveyed in this manner to the receiver? Who benefits from the message being conveyed in this manner? The strong emphasized elements directly impact the receiver by prompting strong emotional responses like pagkabahala, galit, and a sense of awakened consciousness. It motivates action and demands accountability. Although it is possible that no amount of editorial cartoons or posts could push certain institutions to suspend classes, the ideal effect remains and is hoped for. Ultimately, students benefit the most from the way this message is conveyed. The exaggeration, arguably an accurate one, highlights the urgency of the issue and its harmful effects on them. If school administrators take the message seriously, students may have fewer concerns about their health and safety.
So how might alternative perspectives be represented? Undeniably, the illustration of the sun is one that first catches the eye of the audience. The work could then be interpreted by environmentalists or scientists as an editorial cartoon highlighting the real-life effects of climate change. Others with more deepful insights might even see the sun's expression as a representation of the neglect for the situation of the students. The presence of the carabao skull in a desert environment could also be viewed by these groups of people as signifying a systemic problem in environmental education. This, in conjunction with the students' struggles, implies a breakdown of essential structures. It could be seen as suggesting the lack of effect of fundamental systems, including the education sector, in the face of environmental challenges.
Moreover, the depiction of the school could be interpreted by others as an indication of poor funding of schools in rural areas, which thereafter they may connect the work as a whole as representative of the educational crisis and gaps due to socio-economic status in the country.
Meanwhile, those concerned with the Philippine public health system could view the editorial cartoon as an example of one of the aspects of the public health crisis in the country, where multiple health warnings are downplayed simply because factors such as heat are seen as normal.
The editorial cartoon may also be viewed by the youth of today as a metaphor for the heavy burdens placed on them. The heat, the relentless journey to school, and the overall sense of struggle symbolize the numerous challenges students are forced to endure.